State your name.
Jeremy Blanco?
The offense date is October 21, that you did act, excuse me, in a disorderly manner in violation of 1145-1. May I have the facts, please?
Certainly, Your Honor. Yesterday, we saw a second night of protesting that turned violent in relation to a motor vehicle collision that happened a while back. Yesterday, the protesting was centered in the area of Elmwood Avenue towards the Cranston line. Started at around 9 p.m. and for a few hours. During that time, officers, both from Providence, Cranston State Police, and as well as Warwick, were thrown rocks at and bottles and other items during the course of the evening. One officer had to go to the hospital with injuries. Four police cars were damaged. The allegation is that this defendant acted in violent, tumultuous behavior. He was part of the group of people that were throwing rocks at the officers. They were blocking the roadway, preventing the officers from clearing the protest so the traffic could run smoothly. This defendant was taken into custody for that. He was charged with disorderly conduct.
Can you report an attorney?
No, ma'am.
I'll make a referral to the public defender's office. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea. Bail on this
Now, this
charge.
defendant does have a 4-page BCI. We're asking for 1,000 surety.
1,000 with surety, and your next court date is December 9th. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea. Each of the cases, I have a Rhode Island State Police case. I also have a Providence case. Each of the dates are October 21. With regard to the Providence case ending in 8965, that you did act in a disorderly manner in violation of 1145-1. Count 2, that you did use force to resist arrest by a peace officer in violation of 12-7-10. May I have the facts, please?
Certainly, Your Honor. I'm not going to repeat the whole prelim that I did before.
Well, he didn't hear it, so you're going to have to.
Okay, very good. Yesterday, it was the second night of protest that turned violent. On this evening, it happened in the Elmwood Avenue area close to the Cranston line, involved with Providence Police, Cranston Police, Warwick, as well as State Police. During that time, rocks and bottles were being thrown at officers, resulting in at least one Providence officer being sent to the hospital, 4 Providence police cruisers being damaged. The protesters in this case obstructed the roadway by refusing to leave. They would form a long line preventing traffic from flow. The officers would give this defendant numerous chances to leave the area. He refused to do so. He was taken into custody of the disorderly conduct. During the course of his arrest, the officer had to use force as his defendant was resisting. He was charged.
Okay. Can you afford an attorney? Can you afford an attorney?
I'm not sure.
All right. I'll make a referral to the public defender's office in the event you cannot afford one. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea. Bail on this charge.
No record, Your Honor, no objection.
2,000 personal recognizance. When you're released, go to the first floor for the public defender. Your next court date is December 9th.
And what is the bail
Personal recognizance.
And what is that, please?
And with the state police, the offense date is October 21. That you did obstruct a trooper while in the execution of that person's duty in violation of 1132-1. Count 2, that you did resist arrest by a trooper in violation of 12-7-10. Count 3, that you did engage in disorderly conduct in violation of 1145-1. All 3 are misdemeanors. May I have the facts, please?
Your Honor, last night, October 21st, that's approximately 10:30 at night, Corporal Sean McGarity was at the area of Elmwood Avenue in the city of Providence for a protest. At that time, there was a crowd of protesters that were blocking the street, throwing bottles and debris at law enforcement, which had told the parties to evacuate the area. At that time, the defendant standing in front of you was seen throwing debris, at which time Corporal McGarry, and along with officers from the Providence Police Department, requested to speak with the individual in front of you, which at that time he fled. As a result, Corporal McGarry ended up having to use force and tackle the individual standing in front of you, and a brief struggle resulted between the two, resulting in Mr. Polanco being taken into custody and Corporal McGarry sustaining injuries.
I'll make a referral to the public defender's office. I'm going to enter not guilty. Please bail on this charge.
No criminal history, Your Honor. 1,000 PR is fine.
I'm a fellow. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. This date is October 21, that you did act in a disorderly manner, 1 count misdemeanor, charge in violation of 1145-1. May I have the facts, please?
Your Honor, this defendant was arrested a little bit later in the evening. Again, we were dispatched to the Elmwood Avenue for a report of a protest that had turned violent, with officers being attacked with bottles and other debris. This happened a little bit later at around 11 o'clock. This is after officers had noticed that multiple police vehicles, had been damaged. There was a small leftover protesters that remained. The officers tried to get to these individuals to disperse. This defendant was identified. He continued to use profanity, encouraging people to fight the officers and refuse to disperse. He became verbally confrontational. At that point, he was taken into custody for the disorderly conduct.
Can you afford an attorney?
Can I afford an attorney?
Yes, sir.
No, I can't, not at this time.
All right. I'll make a referral to the public defender's office. I'm gonna enter a not guilty plea bail on this charge.
No objection. No record in Rhode Island.
No record. How about Massachusetts?
I didn't check that on a disorderly conduct. Your Honor.
Alrighty. 1,000 personal recognizance. You need to sign a waiver of extradition. And it's also gonna give you permission to leave the state. That means you're gonna travel back and forth between Rhode Island and Massachusetts during the pendency of this proceeding. Your next court date is December 9th. State your name. You did act in a disorderly manner in violation of 1145-1. May I have the facts, please?
Certainly, Your Honor. We were in the area of Elmwood Avenue yesterday for a report of a protest that turned physical with several officers from Providence, Cranston, Warwick, as well as state police. Several hundred individuals were in the area. They were blocking traffic, in the roadway, blocking traffic. Debris and bottles had been thrown at the officers throughout the course of this evening. This defendant was observed on scene. He was standing in the roadway. He refused to comply with the officers' demands to leave the area. He was taken into custody for the disorderly conduct.
Can you afford an attorney?
I'd like a public defender.
Yes. I'll make a referral to the public defender's office. I'm gonna enter a not guilty plea bail on this charge.
No objection, no record.
Alright, 1,000 personal recognizance. You need
Tycho Foreign.
defense date is October 21. Count 1, that you did obstruct an officer while in the execution of that person's duty in violation of 1132-1. Count 2, that you did act in a disorderly manner in violation of 1145-1. May I have the facts, please?
Certainly, we were on Elmwood Avenue last night at around 9 p.m. For a report of a protest that had turned violent, with bottles and rocks being thrown at members of the Providence, Cranston, Warwick, and state police. The allegation is that this defendant, Mr. Huran, interfered with a Warwick police arrest when he sprinted towards the officer. The officer was obstructed, as he had to take his attention away to the arrest and tackle this defendant to the ground, who was within reach of the officer. This defendant was taken into custody for the disorderly conduct and the obstruction.
Can you afford an attorney?
What was that?
Can you afford an attorney?
No.
I'll make a referral to the public defender's office. I'm gonna enter a not guilty plea bail on this charge.
No objection, no record.
No priors.
Correct?
2,000 personal recognizance,
Your Honor, Hill Bedford from the Office of Alice McCoy on behalf of Ms. Davis, we waive the reading of the complaint and ask you to enter a not guilty plea.
As soon as I get through the particulars, Counselor, I will do that. State your name.
Chloe Davis.
Offense date is October 21, that you did engage in disorderly conduct in violation of 1145-1. Not guilty bail on this charge.
No objection, no record.
1,000 personal recognizance. State your name.
August Blanc.
State your name.
August Blanc.
Date of birth.
June 4th, 1990.
Current address.
149 Lancaster Street, Providence.
Defense date is October 21, that you did act in a disorderly manner in violation of 1145-1. May I have the facts, please?
Certainly, Your Honor. Members of the Providence, Cranston, Warwick, and state police were in the area of Elmwood Avenue yesterday addressing a protest that had become violent when hundreds of individuals caused disturbances in the street. There were bottles and other debris being thrown at officers, resulting in at least one injury to a Providence police officer and the damage of 4 Providence police motor vehicles. This defendant was part of a group that were blocking traffic at Elmwood and Bissell Street They were throwing objects and fireworks at members of the Cranston Police Department at the time, according to the report. They were told numerous times to disperse. They were obstructing the roadway, and they were in violation of the law. Eventually, the order was given, and this defendant was taken into custody for disorderly conduct.
Can you afford an attorney?
I don't know.
I'll make a referral to the public defender's office in the event that you cannot afford one, so prior to your next court date,
Okay.
if you find out that you cannot afford an attorney, you need to go to the public defender's office. That way, on your court date, someone is there to represent you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, bail on this charge.
No record, no objection.
All right, 1,000 personal recognizance, and your next court date is December 9th.